Alright folks, welcome to my quick tour and introduction to Google Earth Pro here. As you can see, this is kind of the main screen that you get, and here's a view of our Earth, right? Now you can use the hand feature to pan around, move around here, right? Over here are some navigation controls. You can zoom in either with your mouse roll bar or by using the zoom feature here. Alright, this does left, right, up, down, and then this is, tilt and pan basically, right? So here we tilt, pan, right? Click on the N, double click on that to set it back to north, right? And just kind of looking around here, you can zoom in with the mouse. You can also tilt and pan by holding the shift key and then dragging on the screen, right? That'll help you around as well here. Right? So you can see we're over Australia right now. Over here we have some search features, some search functions, and some drop-down menus that are pretty standard to all programs, right? And then we have some tools along the top line that we'll be using here as well. Search bar works pretty standard. Just go ahead and click something in. Let's say Rosie Mounds natural area. All right. Go ahead and search, and it'll automatically fly right to that location and zoom in pretty well for you there. So if you're familiar with the Holland area, this is Rosie Mounds natural area. So you can see we can zoom in and out, right? Checking out the Lake Michigan shoreline here as we zoom in, right? Some interesting features that we can use here. Along the top, well, this is the navigation pane. This is the Add a Place Mark tool. Just click on that, drag your little place mark to wherever you want it. All right, come up here, name your place mark, say Rosie Mound. All right. And then here in the properties, you can do all sorts of fun stuff as well. You can type in text like Rosie Mound natural area. Whoops, wrong space. Type in text here. Rosie Mound nature area. And you can also do things like add images, add web links, right? I will suggest, however, if you do this to use the add web image button, not the add local image button. Add local image will only be available on your computer or your machine, which that file is stored. If you add a web image, it'll just point to and direct you to add a web image, right? You just go ahead and type in the URL there and it'll add it in, right? Now I am having you do a little bit of playing around with these place marks, naming them, and then telling us a little bit of information, including a picture, and that's how you're going to add that pictures, that web image there, all right? So next we have a polygon tool, and this will draw a polygon between any points that you put on here, all right? Next to that, we have a path tool. So say you wanted to walk this boardwalk here, you could draw a little path along the boardwalk, right? And just like the others, you can name them, add images, add links, all that fun stuff. This adds an image overlay option. We probably won't play with that too much. And then what we can also have that's pretty interesting here is a show historical imagery. Right, and this takes photos from different periods back in time. Right, so here is 2018. Right, going back to 17, 16. We'll look at this a little later in the semester when we examine Shoreline Retreat here. But you can see you can go forward and backwards through time and view sets of images for that area. All right, another useful tool we'll be doing is the measuring tool. You can click on any 2 points and it'll measure the distance, right, between those 2 points. Yes, it will. You can change it here to meters, kilometers, whatever you want. There and there. 0.24 kilometers. How many inches is that? Right. How many miles? So that's how you can measure things on on these maps, right? Over here are the different maps that you've put into the system, right? Now I'm going to have you produce a KMZ file by making a place mark and telling us a little bit of stuff about it, and then also by doing a measurement and showing us that measurement in your KMZ file. And to produce those KMZ files, at least in the PC version, you go save. Whoops, I need to actually create one here so I can save it. Just do Rosy Mounds. Okay, see that adds it over to my places here, right? And then now we can go File, Save Place As. And this will bring up the native language of Google Earth, which is a KMZ or a KML file. And then you go ahead and save that, name it something appropriate, save it, and that's how you produce your KMZ files, right? To load them up, you can do open or just find the file. Here's the Grand Teton one that we'll be using for this class. Notice I drop it right in there, and it goes zooming all the way right over to our Grand Tetons. All right. Oh. There we go. Zooming over to our Grand Tetons map. All right. And you can see here I have dropped in a KMZ that has not only the topographic map of the region, right, but also I've dropped in several place marks. Remember using those place marks to do measurements and stuff like that, right? So Google Earth really is a pretty powerful program. To switch between, if you need to switch between different functions here, you can go to the Properties menu. Whoops. And go to the Options, sorry. And here you can set all sorts of things, 3D views, right? And use, you can do vertical exaggeration and stuff here, change your native settings, and all that kind of good stuff, right? We won't be playing around with that a whole lot, but and again, just more tools and stuff for you to play around with. It's got a movie maker. You can make tours and all sorts of stuff in it. So this is really a pretty powerful program. Feel free to play around and explore with this a little bit, and have fun working on these maps.